Welcome to MCs and MVPs. My name is Aramis, and I am COVID-free, but I still have a cough. And we got the original crew here. We got JT and Jordan up top, and today we're going to be talking about the Panthers, Carolina Panthers. We're going to talk about how they looking on paper and how this upcoming season gonna look to check out, especially with them acquiring some interesting and some solid pieces. But let's get into it. Jordy, you want to start us off?
I can. Typically, we start off with the draft. So I guess I'll read the draft.
Oh, that might. Well, I'll do the draft then. I thought you were going to do the departure. We'll do the draft. Okay. You got Xavier Leggett. We got Jonathan Brooks. We got Tevin Wallace. We got
Trevin.
You got Javion Sanders.
I think it's Jatavion.
Javion Sanders. I know Javion Sanders. I said
Jatavion.
No,
That's a T there.
Okay. Jatavion Sanders. And then you got Chu Smith Wade. You got Jaden Crumpety. Listen, whatever. These names. Michael Barnett.
Barrett.
I'm sorry, that's me. That's on me. And that's who they got. That's who they drafted.
All right, let's move to departures. They let go DJ Chark, Laviska Chenault Jr., Hayden Hurst, Gabe Jackson, Bradley Bozeman, Yatir Gross-Matos, Marquise Haynes, Kamu Gruger-Hill, Frankie Louvo, Deion Jones, Brian Burns, Deshaun Williams, Shaquille Griffin, C.J. Henderson, Dante Jackson, Von Bell, and Jeremy Chin. And when you look at that list, 2 of those names didn't go to another team. The rest of them all went to another team.
And a lot of it's defense.
Lot of defense.
Love it.
Did they do anything with their offensive line?
Well,
those are departures. So that's an offensive guard and center.
Well,
both left.
Too bad you don't have a laptop set up, JT, or you could read off the signings.
Disrespectful.
I know.
Right? You talking shit 'cause I'm broke. Being rude.
All right. For the signings, they got Rashada Penning.
Rashad.
Right? It's Rashada. They got
I don't think it is.
They got Rashad Penning. Rashad got 2 A's. Anyway, you got Deontay Johnson. You got David Moore. You got Yoshi. Yeah.
No, he did.
Yoshi Yami.
Okay, he did freeze.
You got Robert Hunt. You got Damian Lewis. You got Kayvon. How you say that? Chason. I think Kayvon Chason. I want to say Chason. You got Jadeveon Clowney. You got DJ Woman. Okay. You got Derek. You got Derek Brown. You got Arshawn Robinson. You got Josie Jewell. Yeah, Jewell. And you got Troy Hill. You have Dane Jackson, Sam Franklin, Jordan Fuller, Nick Scott, and J.J. Jensen. Those who were either re-signed, traded for, or signed. All right, JT, let's start with you since you didn't read nothing.
Okay.
What we got?
Hey, man, just because I can't read, But I mean,
You don't have to start printing out papers.
I'll go old school, write everything down.
He ain't got no printer either.
Right? Yeah, sure. I ain't got no printer either. But I mean, if they did anything with their offensive line, that would be a plus. Because their offensive line was so trash last year. I felt so bad for
Bryce Young.
Yeah, Bryce Young. I felt so bad for him. He was literally running around like a chicken with his head cut off. And the throws, I didn't get to see what he could do. Because even the throws that he could make were to receivers that couldn't really catch him. First
of all, you said running. That man wasn't running. That man would take 2 steps backwards and get hit. That man wasn't running nowhere.
He was trying to run.
That man couldn't do
but
nothing.
It's hard to run when you've got an entire defense that surrounded you.
You sure right.
Because your offensive line utterly collapsed in 2 seconds.
Literally.
You know what I mean?
You sure right.
Like, and the running back wasn't helpful either. He'd get run over and stuff like that. Like, there was no one blocking for him. I felt so bad.
Hey, don't blame this on the running back. He gonna only do so much.
The running back not supposed to take on the.
Yeah, no, I got that. I understand, but I was just saying no one was blocking for this man.
He can only do so much.
I got you, but like I understand that when you see your offensive tackle get blown up through, and that guy's 100 pounds more than you are. So you're like, what can I do?
I don't even have time to initiate a chop block.
Right? Like this guy's already in my face. So if they did anything with that offensive line to make it anywhere better, like any better at all, I feel like they're going to be a better team. They won 1 game last year, 2 games last year. It was not a lot.
And then that pick turned around and turned into Caleb Williams this year for the Chicago.
What are you talking about, Chicago?
No. The pick, their first round
win in
pick.
that last game gave Chicago.
Yeah.
So
because they won the very last game. Okay. No, I think they actually won 3
because they only won 1 game in the year before they traded with Chicago to get Bryce Young, traded up to get Bryce Young. They end up having the number 1 overall pick this year, which Chicago possessed because of this season. So.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the Panthers need to change their entire offense. Their defense wasn't good either. So I'm not. They're in remode. You know what I mean? If they win 5 games, I'd be like, all right, you guys did better. You guys are moving up.
All right, Jordy, what's going on? What's on your mind?
I mean, since you can't see it, but to your point, like I said, they did get rid of 2 linemen, and they got 3 that they signed / re-signed, and then they got no linemen in the draft.
I'm not feeling real confident then.
Well, we don't know what these guys gonna do. Just because
you're right. You're right. I'm just saying, my confidence level is low.
But you are right. Their O-line was abysmal, so should be their main focal point. But to the point of that, most people I feel like most teams, they're getting linemen with a plan to keep them for a long time. So you don't typically see a lot of movement online like that. So it's not like when you're seeing people in a complete rebuild for their defense, you see a lot of names moving in a lot of different positions. I feel like O-line, you see about 2-3 people move. That's about what you're typically seeing. So getting rid of 2 and picking up 3 makes sense.
Well, you know this better than I do, but I'm like, you want a cohesiveness on your line. You know what I mean? So just switching out like 1 or 2 people sometimes can make your line better.
Because for that, but we were talking in the Saints video, I believe. Like, there's been games that were lost because you had 1 terrible O lineman, and he got his ass kicked all day. There was, and we talked about it for a couple minutes. There was a Cowboys game a couple years ago where one dude he completely lost us that game because he couldn't block anything. Like anybody went and lined up over him, they were getting through. They could have put a safety on him, and he would have walked right past.
And then when you try to line up the double team, you pull off another person, and then that just allows the linebacker to come through. So that's just a weak link all around.
And then the problem with the double team is if you're not helping in that double team, no one can shave off. Like, because the double team, you're supposed to hit here and then shave off. But if you're not picking up your side of that double team, it doesn't work. So a little bit of movement on your O-line could be it. I didn't see any area of that O-line that was good though.
That's what I was like. My confidence is low.
Get it?
Because Bryce is just going to be running around again.
Well, to be fair, also he didn't have any playmakers as well.
Yeah, he did. That's why I was saying he also had when he did get the ball off, he was throwing it to no receiver.
Well,
he had no receiver to throw to.
Well, you did not state that, sir.
I did.
You say he
Brody heard it too. I mean, you can play back the video.
I don't remember hearing you say that. You said he did state that? I don't remember him stating that.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, anyway. I probably was coughing.
You never listen to him, Aramis.
I probably don't. I probably should.
It's why our relationship has so many problems.
Y'all crazy. But to further that point, they also they picked up Deontay Johnson, who is going to be, they traded for him with the Steelers, who is going to be his number one receiver. Deontay Johnson will get open for him and will catch some passes. But this defense, let me talk about this defense, though. This defense looks solid.
I'm excited.
This defense looks solid. Now, we're going to see how solid they really are, especially on the back end. But far as up front, they did get Javion Kason, who he had a solid career in Jacksonville, came over from Jacksonville. Jadeveon Clowney has been steady. So he did have a good couple of years in Baltimore. So, but they also, they re-signed Derrick Brown, who is a freak of nature up front, and also Alshon Robinson, who's also a really good D tackle. Those two guys should be able to wreak havoc and get after the quarterback and run for the most part. So, but like I said, I can't talk about the back end, the safeties, and secondary because the Steelers got their best cornerback. So,
yeah, that's one thing that has always if you have a good front, you have to have at least one good safety to be able to be, that's a ball hawk. Because if you have those guys that are coming after the quarterback, sometimes the quarterback just hucks that ball up. And if you've got that guy, it's so much easier to get turnovers.
You listen. Not everybody's going to be an Ed Reed. Not everybody's going to be a Troy Polamalu.
You're right.
Listen,
Troy Polamalu, I don't really consider a ball hawk. He was a hard hitter.
No,
that boy, he hit you so hard that you felt it in your bones.
You need to go look at the film, sir. I mean, respectfully.
Yeah,
respectfully, you need to go look at the film.
He's got some interceptions and stuff like that, but
no, sir.
I would be more afraid of Troy Polamalu hitting me than him picking me off. That dude hit so freaking hard.
Respectfully, sir, you need to go look at the film.
Best hair in the NFL, by the way. Dude, that hair was flowing and it was beautiful. Okay, I don't give a shit how gay that sounds. All right, dude had beautiful hair.
So they, as a free safety, they got Xavier Woods.
He was the only one who was making it gay. They just said the man had nice hair. That's something you could have said. Could have left it up there.
So they got Xavier Woods as a free safety, listed as a free safety on their roster. So that's not too bad.
Xavier Woods is good.
Well, he got moved there from cornerback because, he was getting his behind roasted
He's getting older, isn't he? What is he, like 30? 30?
Maybe just 30 because he was young with
Yeah, I
the
think-
Cowboys.
Yeah. Fucking.
But yeah. So, but yeah, I think I'm not saying they about to be some world beaters this year, but I do look for improvement this year with these guys. I'm not saying that they're gonna win the division either. So
Yeah, there's. So you mentioning like what their defense is going to look like? That's so much defensive movement.
but that's why you got training camp. That's why you got OTAs. That's why you got the preseason. That's why you got.
Yeah, and we talk about that every year, and then we still come through and be like, "Hey, preseason is a lot of times that's." I don't think people are like, "Oh yeah, well we have preseason to become a cohesive unit." I don't know. Preseason a lot of times for you to weed out people who you just can't use. So
Also, preseason's gotten shorter now. What is it, 2 games?
That's true too. No, it's 3 games, but that's true too about weaving people out. At the same, it's 3 games, but at the same time, we talked about this previously. How the first 5 weeks, you find out who your team is. You should know who your team is by week 5. You should know who your team is. You should know if you need to make a move or you thinking about making a move. And with this team, you might have to make a move. You might have to get something or someone, depending on the contract situation. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect. It's not that I don't expect much because I want to expect a lot from every team. I just believe that. I think that this division is wide open, but at the same time, they're so far behind in a lot of areas in this division. So, especially when we talk about what Atlanta did, we already talked about what Tampa Bay and New Orleans did. We talked about Derek Carr inconsistency, and we talked about the Saints defense and their head coach. And we talked about. I said, hold up. Yeah, never mind. Yeah. And we also talked about, Baker Mayfield returning and Baker Mayfield getting paid, and also Chris Godwin and Mike Evans returning, and then their defense is getting younger and faster and stronger. So with those being said, it was a 2-team race last year. So I look for it to be maybe a 3-team if New Orleans could get their stuff together, and maybe this team just finish above 500. Maybe they finish just slightly below 500. But I think that this team will be competitive. I believe I'm very optimistic about this team. I'm not about to just shit on them.
well,
Their schedule is out, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
probably. I believe everybody's schedule's out.
But anywho, y'all got anything else?
Nah, I was looking at
No.
stats and I was like, I hope that's wrong.
But what's wrong?
It says they got sacked 65 times.
Nah, that sounds about right.
That's right. That's probably right.
That
We
sounds about right.
we were talking about their offensive line is horrible. Man, so is it 17 games now?
Yep, 17 games. Yep, you're right. Yep, 18
Well,
weeks.
can someone please do that math for me really quick? Just I want to know how many stacks that is per game because
Well, depending on what defense
that's
you go
so
against.
many.
Depending on what defense, hell, it wouldn't surprise me. Depending on what defense, hell, the
How many
49ers could have been
stacks did you say,
a
bro? You
county-
said 6.